Alain Paolini, and I'm a principal with Statera, and I lead our human performance practice. So I want to talk about best practice in how the project is typically organized, right? So I want to start talking first about getting started and some of the things that you can do from a best practice perspective. And we'll talk about what we do in the middle of a project or as you're implementing, and then we'll talk about what to do when you're getting close to go live or when you're getting close to the final implementation. So when you're getting started, there's three key things you got to think about, right? The first thing is, what is the change that's going to happen, and what's the case for change? What's the rationale for change? Why are you changing something? So you need to be able to really express that very clearly. Clarity is your friend, right? The more clear you are, the easier it is for people to understand that and start their own process of accepting it, right? Being very clear and specific about what is the change, tell me what's going to happen to me, and also what's the case for change. It's really important to talk about the case for change because a lot of people are going to say, well, everybody's got a comfort zone, right? So you're in the middle of your comfort zone and you say, well, I don't want to change. I'm resistant to change to start with, right? So you're changing my world and I need to understand why. And the more I understand why, the better equipped I am to go from the status quo, the situation I'm in today, to the to-be situation that you want to take me to. Right? So first thing, know what the change is and why you're doing it. The second key thing is know your key stakeholders and whether they're aligned or not. So stakeholders are the people that are either going to be directly impacted by the change or the people that are going to actually enable the change to happen, right? So think about it inside a big implementation where you're driving a big technology implementation or process implementation. A lot of people that are going to be a part of that. Each of them are a different constituency. They're a different group that you need to go talk to, understand their expectations, and then align them, right? We all agree that this is what the project is going to focus on, and here's how we're going to implement it. And these people, the more on board you get them, the more buy-in you have, the more likely it is that they'll become your agents for change, your champions, right? So second thing is know your key stakeholders. And the third big element when you start the project is who's going to be impacted, right? So you know what the change is, you know who your key stakeholders are, but who's going to be impacted? Whose lives are you really going to impact with your change? And on a day-to-day basis, if you think about the day-to-day job of a sales rep and you're implementing a new process or a new technology or a new tool, what's that going to change for that person, right? And knowing who that group is and those different groups, that's really important. And especially if you think about the profile of these different groups, right? When you're implementing a new tool inside a call center, which is very centralized, and you've got everybody here, and you can control that audience, that's very different than if you're dealing with a very distributed national sales force that has different legacy experiences and different levels of expertise, right? So the way you deal with it from a change perspective is going to be different. So three key things when you get started. First one is know what the change is and be able to specify, clearly articulate what it is and why you're changing. Second is know your stakeholders. And third is know who the users and the groups that are impacted are.